We call the December 9th meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Gray,
Yes.
Nichols, Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay. I am asking for a motion to approve the work session for November 25th, 2019 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Abstain.
Williams.
Yes.
Have a motion to approve the regular session of the minutes for November 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Yes.
Miller, Shivers,
Abstain.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay. First, ordinances. First bill number 2019-75, an ordinance imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes at the rate of 2% pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of section 144.600 through 144.761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city sales tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and to be held in the city on April 7th, 2020. Mr. Slagle.
Yes. This ordinance would ask the residents of Mexico to vote on a local use tax for the city on April 7th in the 2020 election. The Mexico sales tax rates will not increase as a part of this. A use tax does level the playing field on the local taxes between retailers and out-of-state vendors. The use tax is, in essence, a sales tax on goods purchased from out-of-state businesses and shipped to Missouri. The use tax does not apply if the purchase is from a Missouri business that is already subject to a sales tax. The Mexico use tax rate would be exactly the same as what it is for the sales tax, which is at 2%. And of course, if you pay a sales tax, you will not pay a use tax. You'll pay one or the other, never both. The use tax is a way of compensating cities and counties for sales tax that is lost when purchases are made across state lines and brought back. Currently, the state of Missouri does have a use tax on purchases already, as far as the state collects it. This would allow the city to collect their portion. And we are estimating that we estimate the receive from the Department of Revenue would generate $152,000 annually to support community and capital improvements in the city. So if the use tax would pass on April 7th, 2020, revenues collected first would be used for improvements to the city pool at Fairgrounds Park, and this project, of course, would be dependent on the passage of that. We've discussed this at a number of occasions, Council, and we'd answer any questions, but otherwise we'd recommend that Council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance, and the ordinance has been posted its required length of time.
What is the pleasure of the council?
I move for the reading of bill number 2019-75.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-75, an ordinance imposing use tax for the general revenue purposes at the rate of 2% pursuant to the authority granted by the subject to the provisions of section 144.600 through 144.761 RISMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and to be held in the city on April 7, 2020. I move for second reading of bill number 2019-75.
Second. Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. I will read it. Bill number 2019-75, an ordinance imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes at the rate of 2% pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of sections 144.600 through 144.790 RSMO, providing for use sales tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city sales tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the general election called and be held in the city on April 7th. I move for passage.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Here.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Okay, bill number 2019-76, an ordinance to vacate the north-south alley in Lakeland and Barnes Island Addition Block 5 to the City of Mexico, Missouri. Two readings by title only and passage. Mr. Slagle.
If this ordinance looks familiar, it's because you've seen it already. This ordinance will replace ordinance number 4427, which was passed by the Mexico City Council on November 18, 2019. We were notified by the title company that the attached ordinance had a discrepancy in the legal description, and so this ordinance corrects that discrepancy of the legal description and in essence replaces what you've already passed. What this ordinance does is vacate an alley that is bound by Vine Street to the north, Hendrick Street to the south, Clark Street to the west, and North Washington Street to the east. And again, this is replacing the other ordinance and correcting the legal description. And then staff would recommend that council proceed with two readings by title only, passage of the attached ordinance, and this ordinance has been posted its required length of time.
I move for first reading of bill number 2019-76.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill number 2019-76, an ordinance to vacate the north-south alley in Lincoln and Barnes Highland Additional Block 5 to the City of Mexico, Missouri. I move for second reading of bill number 2019-76.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill number 2019-76, an ordinance to vacate the north-south alley in Lincoln and Barnes Highland Additional Block 5 to the City of Mexico, Missouri. I move for passage of bill number 2019-76.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, for resolutions, bill number 2019-77, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Westport Pools as the design builder for the design and construction of the pool at the Fairgrounds Park. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. I think the title describes it well enough for an introduction, so I will turn to Chad Shoemaker to cover the details of the resolution.
Thank you, Bruce. Good evening. This resolution authorizes the city manager to sign an agreement with Westport Pools of Maryland Heights, Missouri for the design and construction of the pool at Fairgrounds Park. As the council knows, we've gone through a relatively lengthy state-mandated process for the selection of a design-build contractor. Those requests for qualifications for aquatic architecture firms started way back in December of 2016. And after developing cost estimates to determine the project's scope, we traveled to pool construction sites across Missouri to review building quality and technique from pre-selected vendors from within the state. These pre-selected vendors were invited to participate in a design-build competition, and Westport Pools was here showing you the results of that a couple weeks ago. Funding for this project is dependent on the passage of the use tax in the last bill, and the agreement with Westport stipulates that the project will be $3.5 million based on the passage of that use tax. If the use tax ballot does not pass, or the tax is not placed on the ballot, the project value will be reduced by the contract that is before you. Staff recommends the City Council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement with Westport Pools for the design build of a pool at Fairgrounds Park. Questions?
I'm excited.
Big step. Yes,
Move
Vicki?
for first reading of bill number 2019-77.
Second.
Gray,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Chambers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-77, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Westport Pools as the design builder for the design and construction of the pool at the Fairgrounds Park. I move for passage of bill number 2019-77.
Second.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Chambers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-78, a resolution accepting permanent and temporary easements for stormwater improvements in John A. Pearson's addition to the City of Mexico. Mr. Slater.
Yeah, Sharon, we have an existing culvert that is in poor condition, beyond repair. We need to do some work on it, and we have some easements and so on that we need, so to cover the details. Drew, okay. Drew Wolford, staff engineer.
Good evening, Council. As Bruce mentioned, the Public Works Department is looking at replacing a stormwater culvert in John A. Pearson's addition, which, by the way, is just north of Maple, south of Pearson, and then you're bounded by Clark and Washington, just to give you an idea of where in the city that's at. The oddity here is that when we went to look at replacing the culvert, we found we did not have any easements for that location. So in the process of working through this, we developed easements, approached the property owners, explained the scenarios, and obtained all of the permanent and temporary easements for this. So this time, we're requesting council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the resolution to accept both the permanent and the temporary easements for this project. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for reading bill number 2019-78.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Chambers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2019-78, a resolution accepting permanent and temporary easements for stormwater improvements in John A. Pearson addition to the City of Mexico. I move for passage of bill number 2019-78.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Chambers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, for other business, staff report, purchase of a medium-duty dump truck for the street department. Mr. Slater.
Yes, Your Honor. As part of our budget, we did submit to replace a dump truck for the street department, and we've taken bids. To cover the bids and the details, we'll turn to Kenzie Russell.
This is part of our vehicle replacement process. We have an older 2007 Chevrolet 3500 dump truck that was available for trade-in. As you'll notice in the table of the council letters, we only had a trade-in offer from one of the vendors. Advertisement was sent out to 12 different vendors, including our local dealers. 3 bids were received, all from out of town. We also, through our city purchasing policy, took a look at the cooperative purchase on the state bid contract. Joe Mockins Ford is the vendor that had received the state contract, and they, in fact, gave us the best price for a Ford 550 truck with a Knapheide bed and hydraulics installed on it. That bid is $62,378.90, which is under our budgeted amount of $65,000, and so we're recommending that we accept the bid from the state purchasing contract with Joe Mockins Ford Lincoln out of Columbia for a Ford 550 truck.
What are you going to do with the old one now?
The old one will go on an auction site, I believe is probably the way it'll be handled. So we will have some return from that.
Okay. I move we purchase a medium-sized dump truck from Joe Mockins Ford for $62,378.90.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, discussion of December 23rd, 2019 meeting. Mr. Slagle.
I have actually heard from at least 2 council members that won't even be around for that meeting. We have historically canceled the second meeting of December when we don't have business, of course. And if we have something, we can always call a special meeting. But, so, looking at the time of year and everything else, knowing that people are going to be gone for the holidays and so on, we would actually recommend, council, if you would consider canceling that meeting, but also authorizing us to pay any necessary claims to avoid any penalties and so on that's necessary for the end of the month claims.
I move we cancel December 23rd meeting and authorize us, the city, to pay the bills.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Now,
Motion to pay the claims.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Shivers.
yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, so now for council comments. Chris?
I just want to say I hope people have gone out and seen Elf at Presser, and also the holiday parade was very nice. So good job, and thanks to people at the city that helped organize and help do that, get that taken care of. That's all I got.
My turn? Well, Elf is terrific. And I went to the sold-out performance on Friday night, and it was, I don't know where they found that guy to play Elf. He was incredible. Also, I drove into town, when I came into town after that performance, it was nice and dark, got a good look at the lights, the ones that had been put over at Hardin Park on the gazebo. That looked terrific. And also then I'm up around the city and the square, all the lights look nice. It makes the town look very festive. So thank you for doing that.
Well, everybody talked about Elf, so should I. Vicki Briggs' husband was a star in Elf.
Oh, no.
I'm the janitor in Elf. But, so come see Elf. We need to sell the tickets so we can pay the rent. You know.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. It's a great show.
It's a great show. One of the best they've done.
Mr. Slagle?
I have nothing else this time around.
Well, I guess obviously I need to go see Elf, but I also want to thank the city. I was able to go to see Santa and his reindeer one Sunday. I even got to sit on Santa's lap.
We have pictures of that.
I did not make that request. But it was nice and cold, but it was really good to see so many kids came out and parents brought their kids in the thing and getting to see them light the tree. And, you know, the day before, it's really good to be in Mexico this time of year. So I enjoyed being in the parade, and especially since I got to be there with my dad. So that was kind of special. So thank the chamber for that. At this time, if we have any public concerns or comments, we ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address, and keep your comments to 3 minutes. Seeing there is none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.